Hello students. As we have discussed up to now about the Earth's magnetism, so I think for the Earth to be behave just like the magnet, that concept is still not clear because a number of evidence are here that is just defining that Earth has its own magnetic field, and due to that magnetic field, all the magnetic magnets or magnetic material try to align it along the magnetic field or geographic north-south direction. Clear, I think. So next concept here that we will study today, that is Earth's magnetism. So this branch of the physics that deals with the Earth's magnetism, that is called geomagnetism, or you can also say terrestrial magnetism. So this is also a huge branch where we are studying everything about the Earth's magnetic field, which kind of effect can change it, and due to the change of Earth's magnetism, which kind of effect can be produced on our Earth, on or in our atmosphere, or in future aspect in past, means all the things that we are discussing here in the case of geomagnetism. So here you can say that the description of geomagnetism is provided you in this chapter and in this topic here in the case of Earth's magnetism. So here up to now I think that is not clear. The evidences that provides the existence of Earth's magnetism. Next concept here that we will study for it, that is the case of origin of Earth magnetism. Means why we are saying Earth has its own magnetic field and what are the reason actually behind it. So why we are saying that, I have told you yesterday already by using the evidence that we have, and how can, means what are the reasons behind that, that is called origin of Earth's magnetism. So here number of theories are proposed for the Earth's magnetism, in which the four theory that I have taken here. So first theory, the first William Gilbert's that he suggested in 1600 in his book De Magnete, that Earth at the Earth center there is a huge or giant bar magnet, and due to that Earth is behaving like a magnet. Means the first thing about the Earth magnetism he talked about that time, and he told that Earth is behaving like a bar magnet, means it has some north and south pole, and it has some dipole moment, it has magnetic field, and due to that all other materials are that is magnetic or magnets that experience some kind of force in presence of Earth's magnetism. Second, but this concept is not actually taken, means yes, Earth is behaving like the bar magnet, but that is not the reason. Means there is not any proof of any bar magnet that is embedded inside the Earth there. So that is not the reason exactly, but yes, Earth is behaving like the bar magnet, but the reason is different for that. Second reason is provided by the Professor Blackett, that he suggested that first, magnetism is due to the rotation of Earth about its own axis. So as you know that on the Earth already a number of elements that are present, and every element is made up of large amount of molecules and atoms, and every atom and molecule also that is made up of a large amount of charged particles, neutral particle like proton, neutron, electron. So if there are charged particles that are moving with the Earth rotational speed, then due to the rotation of all that charged particle, a current is set up there, means a current loop is formed there due to the rotation of the Earth, and that is he just suggested that this is the reason, as Earth is behaving like a current loop, then that can be, obviously we have understood already, current loop is just behaving like a magnetic dipole, means here the Earth is behaving like a magnet. But this is not the correct reason also. Reason is that if this reason is possible, then there should be magnetism for such kind of planets which are revolving around its own axis, but they had no magnetic field. So it means that this reason is not sufficient also, but at least this reason provided a startup to understand the concept for the magnetism of earth. So later again, after the discovery of cosmic rays that are coming from the outer atmosphere, in our atmosphere, it is saying that that cosmic rays, whenever they will enter in our atmosphere, due to high amount of energy, they ionizes the air in our atmosphere, and due to that ionization, as positive negative ions are formed, and also due to the rotation of earth, that ions are rotated, and due to the rotation of that ion, a current is set up and a current loop is formed, and due to that the magnetic field is generated. So again, this form is just like the same as we are discussing here, but here there we were taking in the previous concept of Professor Blackett, that is the earth magnetism is present due to the presence of the body on the earth and all the bodies, but according to the cosmic ray concept, it is due to only the ionization of the atmospheric air. But this is also not the concept here. Next concept that favors in the earth's magnetism, and this is the most probable theory that is accepted up to now. This is theory that in the core of the earth, as we know that all the materials are in molten state, and that is called plasma state, and that state is very conducting, means highly conducting state. That is, then we can see that in our earth core that there is very high conducting liquid is present, and also there are a large amount of ferromagnetic materials we have. And as you know that the ferromagnetic materials are those kind of materials which have already the permanent magnet dipole moment. So it means that they are possessing some magnetic behavior already, and due to that molten state, that you can say that the ferromagnetic material that started to move, and due to the rotation of that materials, a current is set up there, and they are behaving like a current loop, and a magnetic field is generated there. So this theory, why we are accepting this theory, reason is that as we have seen that on the moon there is no molten state and there is no magnetic field, and other planets that we have studied, like if you will see the concept of Venus and Jupiter. So as Jupiter and Venus both have this kind of plasma state, and the speed of Venus is less than the Jupiter, then Venus is behaving like a weak magnet, and but Jupiter is behaving like very strong magnet. So such kind of magnetic behavior is due to the molten state that is present in our earth core there. So the reason behind the earth's magnetism, that is now clear, and the theory that that I have just told you, the hypothesis that was given by the scientists, that was Pollard and Elster. So two scientists from the USA they were, and they just told us the concept of the molten state, and that is the most accepted concept for the earth's magnetism up to now. So if somewhere there is molten core, any planet have, then, and if it is rotating about its own axis, then due to that there will be always the presence of magnetic field there, due to that molten state or plasma state. So I think the origin of the earth's magnetism, that is now clear. Then next thing that we will study, that is, if earth has magnetic field, then what kind of terms and what kind of elements it has to define its magnetic field. So let's see first of all some of the definitions that is connected to the earth magnetism, and that we have to know first if you want to know about the earth's magnetism. So here the first thing is that what is the geographic axis. So as one figure I am going to draw it. Suppose we have some of the bar magnet in such a way, and this is the equatorial line that is passing through it, and this is axial line that is passing through it. So there are two lines that we are seeing here, and this line that is passing through it, this is the axis of the this bar magnet. Means if we are supposing that the earth to be a bar magnet, then that time this is the magnetic axis is called, this is magnetic equator. But the geographic axis, you know that that is at 20-degree angle, that is away from the magnetic axis, means the north pole, geographic north pole and south pole, that does not coincide with the magnetic north and south pole of the earth, because it is rotating uh, at its own axis on by some angle that is tilted to its own axis. Clear? So you know that earth is tilted and its rotation is just at some of the angle, then that's why its magnetic field is also uh, found out to be some angle to the geographic north south axis. So here if this is the geographic north south axis here that we have, and in this geographic north south axis, suppose this is our north geographic north pole, and this is geographic south pole, that is SG and NS, and this angle between these two is near about 20-degree, and this axis is, that is the axis of the magnetic poles of the earth, in which I have just told you already in previous class, the end that is near to the geographic north pole, that will be the south pole for the magnet, and that is near to the south pole, that will be north pole for the magnet here. So this is for the magnet, this is for this one. Then first thing, first definition, that is here geographic axis. So here the line passing through the geographic north-south direction. So you know that the geographic north-south direction, with the help of the earth construction, then the north pole and two ends, north and south pole and equators, you know that. So according to that geographic definition, the line that is meeting the two poles of the earth, that is called geographic axis there. And if you will second axis, that is here magnetic axis. So the line that is meeting the two poles of the earth's magnetism, that is south and north pole, that is called the magnetic axis. So in this figure you can see this is a magnetic axis, and this one is geographic axis. So these are the first two definitions that we needed here to understand the Earth's magnetism. Next, here after the definition of these two, the next concept, if you will see the north pole and south pole here, that I told you the position of this one. So the north pole at our earth, that is near about present at in northern Canada, and near about, if you will see the altitude for the north pole in Canada, that is nearly at the altitude of 70.5 degree and in the south, and latitude of 84 degree east, and latitude of 70.5 degree south, and longitude of 84 degree east. And in the same way, the south pole, that is just opposite to the point that is in Canada, in the same opposite, the latitude is at 70.5 degree north, and the longitude is 96 degree based. So here the south pole, not north pole, students, the south pole of the earth's magnetism, that is lie in the northern Canada there. Means simple, as you can see, the near to the earth's northern pole, the southern pole of the magnetic field, that is situated. Next definition, that is the magnetic equator. So as if this is the center of this bar magnet, then the line passing through or axis passing through the center of this one and perpendicular to the magnetic axis, that is known as magnetic equators here. So this is magnetic equator. Next, after the definition of magnetic equator, we have magnetic meridian. So this is very important term here to understand the Earth's magnetism. So magnetic meridian is just a plane, that is a vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis of the Earth's magnetic field. So it means that if you will just see this plane, that is passing through the magnetic axis, then this plane is called magnetic meridian. And if you have to understand the geographic meridian, then the plane that is passing through the geographic north-south direction, this plane is geographic meridian. Means there is the angle between always magnetic meridian and geographic meridian. Clear? So this is very important definitions that is needed to understand the concept of the Earth's magnetism. Next, after this discussion, let's see what are the elements of the Earth's magnetism. So to understand the Earth's magnetic field and the behavior of Earth as a magnetic field, we need some of the parameters, and we can understand the Earth's magnetic field by 3 parameters. So first parameter is called declination, second parameter is called inclination or dip angle we are calling it also, and third parameter is horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So here, as you know that Earth at any point Earth will have two direction. If it is making some angle theta to the geographic north-south direction, then that time is horizontal and vertical, both of the component it will have. And by the information of all these, we can understand what will be the Earth's magnetic field at any point at the Earth here. So let's see the parameters or element of the Earth's magnetic field. So first parameter here, that is, so before just understanding the parameter, let's just draw some of the figure also. So for this one, suppose this is our a plane that I have told you that is passing through the magnetic axis, and this plane is magnetic meridian. Magnetic. And also the plane that is at some angle to this one and that is passing through the geographic north-south direction, that is called geographic meridian. So here these two planes and these two meridian we can draw, and that is just like the open book. You can see that here means at any point on the earth, these two planes are making some of the angle, and that is just like we can see them as an open book. We have this kind of figures. And here if we are using some of the magnet that is freely suspended, then according to that magnet we can understand the direction of the magnetic field, or by using some needle we can understand the direction here. So this is the total direction of the magnetic field at any point on the earth. And if you will see this angle, suppose delta angle is formed here, so here we can obtain the horizontal component of the magnetic field and vertical component of the magnetic field. And here this is the angle between these two meridians or these two planes we have. So by using this figure we can understand all the concept that we are needed to specify the Earth's magnetism. So first here the concept is magnetic declination, alpha. So this alpha is known as magnetic declination, that is the angle between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian. So here in between these two planes you can see this angle, and that is called just angle of declination here. So reason is here, as you know already the reason, as geographic axis that is not coinciding with the magnetic axis, that's why this kind of angle we are getting here. And if you will just see alpha for the India, if you will see, then for India this is very small value for the alpha. It is near about 0 degree 41 minute east for Delhi, and it is nearly 0 degree 58 minute for 58 minutes west for Mumbai. So if you can see that this angle is very small, means 0 degree angle you are seeing, it means in India the magnetic axis that is nearly coinciding with the geographic axis, means here the geographic north-south direction that is along the magnetic poles also. So here study of the magnetism, Earth's magnetism, is very very easy, because both of the magnetism planes or magnetic axis are just nearly coinciding here. Next concept here, that second point we have, that is angle of dip, or this is also called angle of inclination. So angle of dip is this angle delta is angle of dip, means the angle made by total magnetic field to the axis of the magnet, means through the magnetic axis, that is known as angle of dip. So this is our magnetic axis, this is geographic magnetic axis. If you can just increase this one and this one, you can understand this is our magnetic axis and this is geographic axis, and according to that we can draw some of the plane in such a way, and these planes are called meridian here. And this angle that is making between magnetic axis and this total magnetic field is called angle of dip or angle of inclination. Clear? Next and the if you will see before just next concept, this angle delta, that is different at the different places, means if you will see at equator, magnetic equators, then obviously at magnetic equator this delta will become 0, and at magnetic poles, if you will see, this delta will become 90 degree. So simple, it means that this angle that is taken from the magnetic equators easily, and by using that we can understand that at any other place where this angle of dip is not 0 or not 90, then between equator and pole the angle of dip will be between 0 to 90 degree at any point on the earth here. Clear? Next concept is for the horizontal component of this magnetic field here. So simple, the components of total magnetic field in the direction of magnetic meridian, this is the direction of magnetic meridian, is called horizontal component. And if you will find out this value of horizontal component, this is equal to B cos delta, and if you will find the value of vertical component, then you can understand this is B sin delta. This is the vertical component and this one is horizontal component. So if you will see now at equator, then at equator as delta is 0, then it means that the horizontal component is also this is equal to B there, means at equators the total magnetic field is along that equator position. And if you will see there, the at poles the this horizontal component, and at poles as the delta is 90, that's why that is 0 there, means at poles the magnetic horizontal magnetic field, that is 0, but if you see vertical magnetic field, that is not 0, that is maximum. So at equators vertical magnetic field is 0 but horizontal is maximum, and at poles vertical magnetic field is maximum but horizontal is 0 there. So as up to now students, we have discussed the magnetic or earth elements there. So means if we have to understand the parameters or the concept for the earth's magnetism, then the three concepts that we had to study and we have just studied up to now. Now next topic we have, that is relation between the earth's element here. So let's see the relation between that three. So as three earth's elements we have, or three parameters we have. First is angle of declination alpha, second is angle of inclination or dip angle, that is delta, and third one is horizontal component of magnetic field. So that is, I think, clear now. So let's write first of all the components that we have just seen. That is horizontal component, this is cos delta, and vertical component, this is B cos delta and B sin delta. So by using these two equations we can find out the relations between the element of the earth's magnetism or magnetic field. So this is the first equation, that is the equation for the horizontal component of magnetic field, and it is explaining the first parameter. Then this is also a relationship for the relationship between the earth's magnetic behavior, and this is relating the three components here, magnetic field, this value, and delta here. Next you can also find out the tan delta by just dividing this BB to BH. So this will be equal to BB upon BH. So this represents the value of tan delta, or the value of the angle of dip at any point if we know what is the vertical magnetic field and horizontal magnetic field. So this is the second relation that relate the components or elements of the Earth's magnetism. Third relation is here, if you will square these two equations and add them, then that is equal to B here, B square, this will be equal to BB square plus BH square. So from here we can calculate what is the total magnetic field if we know the element or component of the magnetic field. Means by knowing this vertical and horizontal component, we can also find out the value of the total magnetic field here. So students, I think up to now, as we have discussed the origin, reason and evidences behind the Earth's magnetism, and also what is the value of Earth's magnetic field, why it is behaving like that, and if it is behaving, then what are the parameters through which we can understand the magnetic behavior of the Earth. So I think all these things are now clear. And if you will just see after that, suppose you have to find out what is the location of the magnetic axis or equator at any point, then we are using some magnetic map, just like we are using geographic maps like physical map, political map we are using. And in the case of physical map, we are using latitude and longitudes. So latitude and longitude, just like you are seeing the lines that are drawn over the whole of the globe, that are representing at any point at the Earth, and through which we can understand, yes, this country is at this place, this place is at this location. So particular to predict the location of any point, we are using these two lines, and that are called longitude and latitude. And by using or the these two lines, where they are meeting, we can understand the direction and position both of the any point in the on the Earth. Simple. Next here, just like that, if we have to find out at any place what is the magnetic field, like I have told you, the magnetic North Pole and South Pole for the Earth magnetic field, like the southern pole is near in northern Canada, and that is nearly 2000 kilometer away from the geographic axis. So how did you find out in the terms of that? Then for that term, we are also just plotting a lot of lines there along the magnetic axis and magnetic equators. So just like longitude and latitude, we can also draw lines using magnetic axis and magnetic equators there, and that magnetic axis and magnetic equators at any point at which angle they are just meeting, that angle provide us the value of the magnetism there due to the Earth's magnetic field. Clear, I think. And in that map, there are a large number of terms that are very important, like let's see some of the terms there. So the first term in the magnetic map, that is here isogonic lines we have. So isogonic lines, what are they? So as you know that we have three elements of the Earth magnetism. So according to these three elements, where they are same, so at the lines where they are same, that is called by specific names. So first is the isogonic lines. This is the line that is meeting all the points that have equal declination. Means the value of alpha, that is same for which of the places. If you will meet all the places by a line, suppose here this for this place alpha is same for this place. So if you will meet all these points by this line, so this kind of line is known as isogonic lines. And for zero inclination, where magnetic axis coincides with the geographic axis, that line is known as agonic lines. So this is the first name for the magnetic map, through which we can understand the location and the declination from the geographic axis for the magnetic axis, and according to that we can understand the strength of the magnetism there, and we can utilize that property in our daily life for the magnetic behavior. So next lines we have, that is isoclinical line. So isoclinical lines are those which are obtained by joining the equal angle of dip or inclination points. Means the value of delta that is same for which of the places, if you will meet all the places by a line, so the line that is obtained is called like isoclinic line. Means at every point on that line the value of delta will be same. Next, here if suppose angle of dip is 0, then for that case the line is known as magnetic equator, yeah, or we can call it aclinic line. So here the magnetic equator is that line where at every point the angle of dip is 0. Clear? Next thing are here if you will see this magnetic equator. So magnetic equator, that is our geographical knowledge exactly. So magnetic equator crosses the geographic equators at 2 points in whenever it enters in Atlantic, and after that it again crosses 2 times when it enters in Pacific Oceans. So as you know that the area of Pacific Ocean and Atlantic, that is very large, and their magnetic equator cut 2 times the geographic equator in Atlantic and in Pacific Ocean. Means in water and in our lands, both of the places magnetic equator cut at 2 points, and at any other place it cut at 1 point only. Means only one angle we are getting for any of the angle of dip, but at these points we are getting 2 angles there. Clear? So this is also very important information for this one. Next, third kind of lines we have, that is isodynamic lines. So isodynamic lines are those which are joining the equal value of horizontal component of magnetic field. So it means that the points that have equal horizontal component of magnetic field, if you will meet all that points, then that will provide you the line that is called isodynamic line. So and if you will see the value of magnetic this value of BS, then you know that that is 0 at poles and that is maximum at equators. So I think that is now clear. This is just like as we are talking about the altitude latitude and longitude. So in the same way we have this kind of lines, and through which we can understand the position of magnetic behavior of the earth, or we can obtain the value of the magnetic field at any point on the earth. Clear? I think there is now no confusion what are the these parameters and how they are related, how we can draw a map by using these lines. So students, if this is clear, then in next class let's see what are the factors and what are the terms that are affecting the earth's magnetism, and what will be the effect of this effect there. So let's see that in next class. For today let's end the class here, guys.